Hey everyone! Over the past few years, my husband and I have been doing some international work with cats and cat rescuers all around the world. And I'm super excited because now we're planning our next trip, which is going to be to Turkey. I love to travel, but obviously the hardest part about traveling is when you have cats at home. Something people ask me all the time is, what do we do with our cats when we are away? So in this video, I'm going to give you some of my advice for traveling when you have feline friends at home. My first tip is to find a cat sitter who will come to you. Cats are very bonded to their environment and they have strong routines, so they'll generally feel more comfortable if they can maintain their home routine even while you're gone. Most of the time, I recommend having your cat sitter come to you rather than having your cats boarded or staying over at a cat sitter's house. Of course, it depends on the cat and the situation, but that's what we do. We always have a cat sitter come to us. Now, you can have someone stay at your house, or you can have someone just pop over twice a day to feed them and scoop the litter and play. Personally, I think it's great to have someone stay in your home, especially if your cats are used to a lot of socializing with humans, or if they have a medical condition that needs monitoring. For us, we always opt to have someone stay at our house with our cats because some of them have medical conditions that we need them to be watching out for. And let's be real, our cats are very social and they are really used to a lot of human affection. So we found a wonderful cat sitter named Lauren who stays at our house while we're gone. If you just do an online search for cat sitter and the name of the city you live in, you should find some good options. Next up, it's time to prepare all of your cat supplies. I like to put all of the supplies in one place. I choose my kitchen island. So I have my wet and dry food, I have my treats, I have all of my medicine, I have my notes. So it's super easy for the cat sitter to find what she needs. Make sure you have more than enough food, litter, treats, and medicine for while you're gone. Put out a stack of clean bowls, fill your bowls or fountains of water to the top, refill any medications in advance so you have more than what you need. I actually put my cat's medications in a pill organizer. This gives me a lot of peace of mind that my cat sitter is going to have an easy time remembering which pills go to which cats. So it says AM and PM, but I actually cover it with a C and an F for Coco and Ferguson, who both get medication every day. So all she has to do is pop it open, give them their meds. And then it has the day of the month up top, so it is super easy for her to stay organized and give them their pills every day. Then I keep a backstock of meds. So I have extra meds that are labeled for each of my cats, just in case there's something else that they need. Labels are your friend if you have multiple cats. So I label everything. You also want to make sure you have a nice stock of all of the food that your cats eat. Now, our cats all have different preferences, so I make sure that I label what their preferences are and that there is enough for the whole time we're gone. Some of our cats prefer wet food, some prefer dry food. For wet food, we'll make sure that our cat sitter knows exactly where they like to eat because they all have their own special spots. For dry food, an automatic feeder can be a really good option. Just remember, it is not a substitute for a cat sitter. You still want someone to be coming over every day to make sure that water bowls are filled, that their litter is scooped, that they are getting all of the love and socializing they need, and that they are having their health monitored. Now, in terms of automatic feeders for dry food, I actually use one even when I am home. The one I use is the PetLibro Space Automatic Pet Feeder, and I love it because it serves two functions at once. It provides storage that is vacuum sealed, so I can put a large volume of food inside and it will stay nutritious. But it also provides a smart feeding system, so I can actually schedule and monitor their feedings straight from my phone. I've noticed that if I buy a big bag of food and I store it in the bag or even in a container, they tend to lose interest in it faster, which makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't want to eat my food if it wasn't fresh. So I don't want to buy a big bag of food, leave it for the cat sitter, and have them lose interest in it before I get home. Having a feeder that vacuum seals to preserve flavor is awesome. Vacuum sealing preserves the fats, vitamins, and proteins in the food, and it prevents it from being exposed to moisture and mildew and other contaminants, which helps with their digestive health and reduces the risk of diarrhea and other GI issues while I'm away. In the PetLibro app, I just set their meal times and amounts, and I get notified straight to my phone when they've been fed. I can even record a voice message that plays at mealtime. Let me show you what I mean. It's time to eat! Okay, I'm just gonna set it and it's time to eat. I love that when I'm away, I have this additional layer of control and monitoring. I'll pop a link in the description for a discount code that you can use with your cat or your dog. Did you guys see who joined me? It's Shushu. I don't know if you're supposed to be up here, dude. He's like, I want to be where the food is. All my treats are up here. Okay, so once you have your cat sitter and all of your supplies taken care of, the next thing I do is I create some documents. Now, I make some pretty in-depth documents for my cats. These are Word documents that I actually update every single time that we have a cat sitter come, that has all of their morning routine, their evening routine, their food, their medication, how they receive it, and also any quirks about them. So like every single cat gets their own page. This is Ferguson's page, and it's got all of his care. And then I have this section called Things to Know About Fergie. And I put bullet points of things to know about my cat's various quirks and idiosyncrasies. That's really important to me, that they are understood so that they're receiving the same kind of interaction that they're used to. These lists will give you pretty important context, like that Coco doesn't like to be picked up, or like that Haroon occasionally humps toys. Sorry, cat sitter, it's just a weird thing he does. I really like having things documented in writing because let's say that the cat sitter suddenly has an emergency and someone else has to swap in. Well, if everything that she knows about the cats is just in her head, how is this other person supposed to know what to do? So these documents make it so that anybody could come in here and learn about my cats and also about their care. I also make a daily medication checklist so the cat sitter can go along and check off each day. This way it is super streamlined, nothing can go wrong. The other document I make is an emergency plan. So it is important to have an emergency plan. If something goes wrong, you want your cat sitter to know what to do. One part of that plan is making sure that there are cat carriers ready to go by the door in case of an emergency. On my emergency document, I make sure that the cat sitter has contact information for both me and my husband. I also give 2 to 3 backup numbers for friends who could be called for help if we don't pick up. I also leave information about my preferred emergency hospital, as well as 2 backup hospitals. And then at the bottom here, I detail where all of my cat's medical records can be found, with which doctor at which facility. So it is a pretty extensive document, but the idea is if something were to happen to me or to my cat sitter or to my cat, we all have the information we need to make sure that the cats are treated appropriately. The last part of my emergency plan is a letter that authorizes my cat sitter to take my cat for treatment, or in the case that they became lost and were impounded at the shelter, to reclaim the cat. Now, these are obviously situations that are very unlikely, but you should know that, if your cat gets lost and ends up in a shelter and you are not there, if you're the one on the microchip, nobody else can go reclaim that cat without your permission. So call me paranoid, but if I'm on the other side of the world and that happens to my cats, I want to have a plan in place. And for me, that plan is just having signed documents that allow my cat sitter to act on my behalf. Last but not least, I make sure that all of my cats are ready. For a cat with medical issues, that might mean taking them in for blood work. For a long-haired cat like Shushu, that might mean getting his little Sani trim done so he's all fresh and clean. It might mean trimming their nails or doing a deep clean on your litter boxes. And of course, I make sure that they have all of their favorite beds and toys. Now, don't be afraid to ask your cat sitter for updates. I love getting updates from Lauren and seeing that our cats actually have a great time when we're away. I mean, yes, it gives me a tiny tinge of jealousy to realize that my cats actually can enjoy somebody else's company as much as they enjoy mine. But it is awesome to see that they are cuddling with her and laying on the couch with her and playing with her and really enjoying their lives. When I am away, I miss them so much, but that gives me a lot of comfort to get those updates and to know that they're doing great. So what do you do for your cats when you're away? I know for me, my strategy has changed a lot over the years. I hope that this video has been helpful for you and given you a little bit of insight into how we deal with all of our funky little felines and making sure they have what they need when we travel. Thanks for watching, and if you're traveling soon, have a great trip.